it is not sunrise because I decided to sleep a little bit more. Because I thought it would be a nice picture getting the sunrise over the Atlantic Ocean. But sleep sounded nicer. So I got all my stuff ready, all the cards ready. I'm gonna head out to the first spot here in Leeds Point and see how it goes. Because we're kind of against the clock today. Because one of the stops closes at 5:30. I don't think we're gonna make that based on how past 2 days have gone. But we can just do it in the morning because it is at the end point for today. So it'll probably all work out. So this is where I wanted to take the picture of sunrise. Oh, hello bird. For the golden hair girl, because in her legend, I could only find like one paragraph online about this because it was pretty hard to find. But by searching golden hair girl New Jersey, I could find one paragraph on Wikipedia saying that there's this like ghost girl who will appear looking out into the ocean. And supposedly she's waiting for her beloved, who's a sailor, to come back. But apparently he never came back, and with Leeds Point being the home of the Jersey Devil, there's a slight, or not slight, I think it's like a alternate version where the golden hair girl and the Jersey Devil are friends, which is pretty nice. So if I turn the camera around, way off in the distance there is Atlantic City. Then here's the marsh that surrounds Leeds Point. On Google Maps, there's a bunch of like little canals or channels almost. I wonder what that's about. Because if you go to the actual Leeds Point that leads you to on Google Maps, it's just two oyster restaurants right next to the marsh. So I wonder if these are for farming oysters. Yeah, I'll take my picture maybe of Atlantic City. One other thing about the golden hair girl that I had originally thought was I thought she was just Goldilocks, because I've never heard of the golden hair girl before, especially if you can only find one paragraph online. But searching golden hair girl, you get a bunch of beauty stuff, and then if you just like golden hair girl legend, you get a bunch of stuff from like Hungary and Bulgaria, I think. I'm assuming those are like their slight versions of Goldilocks, because I think Goldilocks is Germany or Austria, and it just kind of spread off slightly to those countries. But there's a boat way out there. Yeah, it possibly spread over here with the colonists, because I think it dates her to the Civil War. No, not Civil War. The Revolutionary War, which was just around the corner from the origin of the Jersey Devil. So when I said Leeds Point, alarm bells probably just went off in your head thinking, oh, I know what's going to happen next. And it's finally that time, because Leeds Point is the birthplace and homes of Jersey Devils, well, I spoiled it there, of New Jersey's most famous cryptid, the Jersey Devil. And there is nothing here for him. So when researching this to try and find a place to take a picture, I spent probably the entire equivalent amount of time I did to plan the first trip just to find a place for the Jersey Devil. And in researching it, I found that his story is more of a family tree than an actual spot. Because it all starts with Daniel Leeds, who came here from England. The camera around so you can see the cemetery I'm walking in. I don't think the cemetery goes that far back to about the early 1700s. But who knows? We might find something. So Daniel Leeds came here from England, and he settled here in New Jersey with a Quaker community. And Quakers are quite what's the word? Like very strong in their beliefs, and they don't like any sort of variation or alternate or occult belief. And Daniel Leeds, kind of a weird guy, well, for them at least. He was into astrology and the occult, and he would publish almanacs sort of predicting the future, and the Quakers around him really didn't like that. So they kind of ostracized him and like spread rumors about him. And Daniel Leeds eventually had some kids, and he gave his business to one of his kids named Titan Leeds. And then after that, Daniel Leeds kind of just fades from the story, but I didn't write down his death date, but he is buried kind of close to Philadelphia. So Titan Leeds inherits his business, continuing to publish almanacs, and then making the community around him not super happy. But Benjamin Franklin, of all people, comes into the story, who also published a bunch of books, including almanacs. And at this point, Benjamin Franklin was just a startup business or entrepreneur and wanted to try and dethrone these sort of top dogs in this industry. And Titan Leeds just happens to be one. And so Benjamin Franklin used his sort of astrological belief of Daniel Leeds, or Titan Leeds, in an almanac he published, predicting the death of Titan Leeds in 1933. And of course, that didn't happen. So whenever Titan Leeds would show up around Benjamin Franklin would just say, "Oh, this is an imposter," or "Oh, this is a ghost." This kind of adding another layer of like sort of paranormal spookiness to the Leeds family. There's a ghost around claiming to be a living person, and from what it seemed like, it actually worked, surprisingly. But another nail in the coffin for the Leeds family in the creation of the Jersey Devil is that Titan Leeds also changed their family crest to contain 3 wyverns, and the silhouette of them kind of looks familiar, as in it looks a lot like the Jersey Devil. But going back up the family tree, or I guess kind of across, because to Titan Leeds' brother, or one of them, Japhet Leeds, who not super noteworthy, other than the sheer amount of kids he had. Because in one of the stories for the Jersey Devil is that he's the 13th child of an unknown figure named Mother Leeds. And when he was born, he one version is he's instantly a monster. He popped out and flew up the chimney. Another version is he slaughtered everyone in the house. And then another one was the mother cared for him a little bit, even though the baby had horns and a tail. And eventually the baby became more and more monstrous over, I think, a course of a year. And then eventually ran into the woods, become what we know as the Jersey Devil. But people point to Japhet Leeds and his wife, Deborah Leeds, or Deborah Smith is their maiden name, as a possible contender for Mother Leeds, because they had 15 kids. And although there are a lot of bugs on me, and although he had 15 kids, a lot of them did die. I think like half of them died in infancy or childbirth. And the 13th child was named, where'd he go? Joseph Leeds, and he was born in and died in 1730. But the story for when the Jersey Devil was born always says 1735, which is interesting because when sort of researching monsters and things that don't really exist, all the numbers get fudged slightly by like 1 or 2 digits, sometimes more, sometimes less. But Japhet Leeds did have a kid in 1735 named Miss Leeds, which was the 14th child. So maybe the Jersey Devil is actually a girl. And so I'm taking footage of the cemetery, and it seems like the oldest ones go back to about 1850, which is not what we want. You got a little pentagram on that. That's neat. But yeah, I know Daniel Leeds is buried outside like Philadelphia, and Japhet Leeds is kind of buried between Philadelphia and Leeds Point. But there is also another place people probably know of as the Shroud House, which is believed to be the birthplace of the Jersey Devil in this legend. And I couldn't find any connection to the Shroud family, because by looking at the Leeds family tree, none of them ever married into or from the Shroud family. And I'm taking footage of the cemetery instead because it seems like the Shroud House is on private property and the locals don't really appreciate people poking around there. And gotta respect the locals. And I think I didn't get this row. But yeah, even to this day, people will still hear like blood-curdling screams in the Pine Barrens, which is slightly, I think, northwest of Leeds Point. And some people might equate it to like, or think it's a fox actually, but around my house there's occasionally a fox that just keeps on screaming and screaming and screaming for like 20 or 30 minutes. And it just goes like, ah, ah, ah. Like, it's not like a human being murdered or anything. But, I don't know. It doesn't seem like a fox. Because I know also at the Shroud House, there's a cemetery right outside the remains of it. It's kind of just like a divot in the ground with the foundation. I got some 1831s. And there's a cemetery right next to it, because back in those days, people would bury their family right outside their house, and then eventually form little cemeteries. I'm assuming it would be the Shroud family there, because it's the Shroud House. And although I wasn't planning on going there, but I did spend some time like trying to find out if I could. I guess that audio got cut out, but going back in my car. The door's locked. So I just got back in my car and I am now riddled with mosquito bites all over my legs. It's So I guess that's what those bugs over me were. And probably a few in my car now. That's nice. But yeah, I spent some time trying to research the Shroud House, and I think it is on private property, because online it was kind of up in the air, like, oh, maybe the town owns it, maybe it is private property. But actually driving around here, I think it is private property. But yeah, one thing I did think of that it could connect back to the Shroud House is that also back in those days, women, when they're pregnant, would enter what's called confinement towards the end of their pregnancy. I see another mosquito. Oh. Guess there's more. But they would enter confinement, so maybe leads would then take confinement in the Shroud household during their pregnancy or during their birth session. But yeah, I think I should probably look around for mosquitoes and get some anti-itch stuff, because I have a lot of bug bites now. Man, I was not kidding about these. They're just all down my legs on both of them. Oh yeah. Just imagine going there at night and doing so much worse. But it's compares nothing to having fleas. And there was one thing I forgot to mention about the golden-haired girl and the connection to the Jersey Devil is that according to some accounts, bother me, seagulls. What are you up to? Oh, hot dog. Well, that's something to fight about. Is that the golden-haired girl is the mother of Jersey Devil, being Mother Leeds. And then another one is that the Jersey Devil had a son, and the son of the Jersey Devil is the golden-haired girl's beloved, who was lost at sea or never returned or died in some battle. But I think for this next beastie, the black dog, I'm gonna get a picture of the marshland over here. So most black dogs are very aggressive, feral, large black dogs who spread disease and just bad luck, bad omens, just not a great time. But the one here on Astaxanthine Island is actually a good boy. According to the legend, a group of pirates attacked here, and a boy and his dog died, and it seems the dog now roams these areas, protecting people. And I was only able to find one paragraph again. It was on that same Wikipedia article about the golden-haired girl, which is why I know about this. And interestingly enough, in MetaZoo, the black dog and golden-haired girl are right next to each other in their card numbers for wilderness. So I wonder if that's not a coincidence. So this looks like a good spot. The other interesting thing about just this island in general is that on both caps of the island is residential, and then in the middle there's a strip of swamp and marshland with some stores like Dollar General of all things to set up shop here. But yeah, this black dog can be seen from Astaxanthine Island, which is where the legend supposedly began, all the way up to Barnegat Bay. I think that's about halfway up New Jersey, which I think is also the northern section of the Pine Barrens, which is where the Jersey Devil roams. I think from here to our next stop, we're actually going to cut through the Pine Barrens. So that should be nice. So occasionally throughout the day, I'll stop through a Target trying to find the new native blisters. Target acquired. So I guess now there's going to be a little surprise pack opening now. Because I've been looking for these for a while. I think this is my 6th Target that I checked out. And all the other ones didn't have any at all. So these have 3 promos and 3 coins. And the coins don't correspond to the promo. I got 4 of them, so hopefully I got one of to the 3 promos. And then I have 12 packs to open. I only need 4 more cards to finish off native, which is the Piazza Bird, the Dark, Light, and Flame fusions. So pretty slim chance of finishing it off today, but you never know what I might find. So I guess I'll take them out of the plastic and then flip them over one by one. So I got 2 of the Chibi Wendigo coins and 1 Ukatina crystal and 1 Ravenmocker. You can tell by the different colors about which one you're going to get. And hopefully I got each of the promos. So the first one is Ukatina crystal, or it's jewel, my bad. That's good. And uh-oh. Odds aren't looking so good. Oh, Ravenmocker. And Chibi Wendigo. Oh, nice. Okay, that's what I wanted. I was hoping for more of you, just to play you in the Dark Tower, because I have 3 of them in my spell book. So I guess I'll swap them out for 1 when I get a chance. Yep, pretty happy with that. So now on to the packs. And first pack. How am I gonna open you? Alright, let's see what you do. Oh, there everything goes. I guess I only really care about the foil, which is not someone I need. I thought the foil was the last one and then the gold. But I guess I never really paid attention to that. And we have a Crow Mother. Ooh, got 2 mothers. Caribou Mother and Crow Mother. And a Squash Necklace. And Chibi Wendigo. Rainbow Crow. And another Caribou Mother. And Noe. Never looked at how to pronounce that. Oh, and Butang. Oh, Ogopogo. I got a little scratched up there. Got another Rainbow Crow. The base set ones, the foil is slightly misaligned, so I guess they fixed that problem with the big box ones. And Pot of Stagnation. About halfway done. Or actually, we are halfway done. Nothing about it. And Falling Stars of Ashweed Daid and Giant's Blood. Pot of Stagnation and Rainmaking. Oh, another one of these guys. And the big star. Ugaja Sa Uja. And a regular Raven Mocker. And the Moon Guy. Boy Nanyal. Nope, another one of these guys. Uchiyala Bapu. And Raven Mocker. Last pack magic. Come on. Native 19. Nope. Got a mini Washitu. And another Moon Guy. It's nothing super amazing for me from the packs. I'm still happy I got the 3 promos. And I just noticed that they don't have a little symbol or stamp in the corner. But yeah, my last road trip, I managed to find the Seance ones. On this one, I found the native ones. That's pretty interesting timing. And I guess now we're just gonna go on to our next stop. I'm gonna make this kind of quick because I don't want to be parked on this very narrow road for long. But I'm here in, I think it's New Hope, or slightly outside of New Hope, which is the next spot we're gonna go to. Pennsylvania, here at the Van Sant covered bridge, which happens to be what is known as a Crybaby bridge. It was built in 1873, and apparently at some bridges, parents would throw over their unwanted child into the river below. And then the spirit of the baby would then haunt this area, making a crying sound. So if I listen carefully, I don't really hear anything besides the birds, and I think those are crickets. But yeah, it's Crybaby bridges like all over the states, and this was one that I found. There's another one in a place called Helltown, which is a whole assortment of paranormal stuff. But Helltown has been demolished and renovated, so most of the spots and stories have gone with that, which is interesting to think that in some cases you all you have to do is completely renovate. We got a little stone right here. The area, and then all the paranormal and hauntings go away. But I brought Squonk with me for this space because it's pretty fitting. It's got a Crybaby bridge and got a Crybaby here. Let this guy pass. But oh, we can go down here. Looks like. Oh, what was I gonna say? Oh, there's no internet here in this spot, so I couldn't really get a quick refresher on Squonk. But he's a pig who's so ugly, and he's so self-aware of it that he constantly cries. And if anyone were to show him any sort of appreciation or comfort, he would just melt away into a puddle of tears. But I guess that's a good thing because he died happy. So I guess I'll get a picture of just up here. I was originally going to go to Jonestown.
You what?
I was originally going to go to
Jonestown,
which is the town that held the Squonkapalooza earlier this year, which I think was the first Squonk festival. But to the north of it is Puxatawny, so Puxatawny won out over Jonestown, and I had to relocate Squonk to here because can't go through Pennsylvania without visiting Squonk. And I want to say there's something about the hemlock forest that might be another fearsome critter that I'm thinking about, but I couldn't double check that before I started recording because there's no internet here. And I think the hemlock forest is on the northern portion of Pennsylvania, but everyone loves Squonk, so couldn't leave him out. Made it north to New Hope, all right, without the GPS, where I think there's going to be an interesting situation happening here within the next few years. Oh, I didn't realize this was a canal lock. There's oh yeah, I got the water high up over there, then kind of dams up down here, where it's all lower level. But yep, we're going for that guy over here. So this is a sculpture created by a local artist named Dana Stewart in a 2003 art contest, and the town fell in love with it and made it their town mascot. And this is just kind of like a made-up creature, but due to the town's love for it, it kind of reminded me of the Hodag in Rylander. So I wonder if in about 50 years or so, this will eventually grow into like an urban legend, and there will be eventually sightings and just more stories about him. Because right now, he's just a kind of weird statue. And I brought along, oh, I don't think I said his name, but his name is Boomer. So I brought along another boomer, mountain boomer, who's a dinosaur seen in South Texas, just kind of walking around. So yep, that's Boomer meeting Boomer. So I just arrived here in Frederica, or actually the space between Frederica and Felton on Midstate Road, for the black dog known as the fence rail dog. And for those of you who don't know, a fence rail looks like this. And in this story, the fence was compared to the size of the dog. So I'm assuming the dog walked up against this, and they're about 4 feet tall on average, I think. That's a pretty tall dog. And as far as I know, actually, if I remember correctly, it's just seen a few times. Let me double check that real quick. So yeah, every now and again, someone will encounter a large black dog on this stretch, and they start with glowing red eyes, and then eventually you'll come, like, shine a light on them. It's a big dog. So, I mean, the sun just set, so maybe I'll encounter him as I go on to the next place. Here at Selbyville, Delaware, visiting the Red Man Cemetery to see the grave of the Selbyville Swamp Monster. And that's because the Selbyville Swamp Monster is actually a real person. Or it was a person dressed up as a monster to create a hoax. And his name was Fred Stevens. And in 1964, his friend who works for the newspaper named Ralph Graffenhaus. He was a editor for a newspaper, and he wanted to sell more newspapers. So he created up a hoax with his friend who was I think an actor of sorts, or wanted to be an actor. So he got this role for his friend to just jump out and scare people. So Fred got a raccoon fur coat and like a Halloween gorilla mask, and then would just walk around and jump out and scare unsuspecting people. And then it created a buzz, and in later years he eventually got a baseball bat, like a nail sticking out of it, like the back end of a nail, like sticking quite far out. He said it was to like inflict more fear, but the nail was to prevent people from getting hurt. But if you like swing a baseball bat around and you have a small hard object that's going to be the first contact point, it's just going to put all that force into one spot, making it more dangerous from what I think. So I'm not sure about that little detail. But he only did this for a few years until the popularity of the swamp monster became so much that it attracted like hunters, or like it became dangerous for Fred to continue. So he stopped, and even after Fred stopped, people would still report sightings of a swamp monster in the Great Cypress Swamp, which was where he would hide. And even looking back further before Fred started, there were some reports in the area from the swamp of a monster in a similar stature to what Fred was doing. He reported then. But unfortunately, Fred passed away in 2021. It would have been super cool to actually meet him. Just get his like own words on what he did. And he eventually revealed the whole hoax in 1987. And I think that's the last detail I have. And on a little side note, when I was looking for pictures and like other research, I came across what looked like a coin of the Selbyville swamp monster, but it was actually like a logo for a eye makeup or eyeshadow. And it got me the idea that it would be so cool if the federal government made the like quarter state coins with monsters from each state, and the Selbyville swamp monster could be the one for Delaware, because it from what I saw, it looked just like a coin. Like that'd be such a cool thing to collect. But yeah, I'm gonna try and find his grave for the picture. Hopefully there's no swarms of mosquitoes like this morning. It seems relatively small, so I guess I just have to look for the something new from 2021. So I finally found some Stevens. Got a Jerry Stevens and a Burke and Muday Stevens. Don't see Fred nearby. I guess I'll have to keep on looking. Found some more Stevens, but still no Fred. Got a Katie and Lee Stevens from the mid-1900s. Still no Fred. Guess I'm gonna have to find the entire family before I find him. Almost done 1.5 laps of the cemetery. I can't find Fred. So I might have to give up on that soon. Because it seems like this patch back here is the newest ones, but no Fred or even Stevens back there. These are too old. All the ones up here are too old. And then the ones in the back are slightly newer, but still too old. So unfortunately, I wasn't able to find him. Gave 2 laps around the cemetery, looked at all the tombstones. Found some other Stevens, but no Fred Stevens. So I guess much like the cryptid he was in life, he was a cryptid in death and super good at hiding. So just took a picture of one of the family Stevens, I guess family tombstone. But yep, he's here somewhere. So I guess I'll just have to move on to the next spot now. So I just gave one more look online, and I think on his obituary it says that his funeral service was private. So I'm assuming that means he's not here, and that he's either cremated and spread somewhere else, or buried somewhere else. But just thought I'd add that in, just to not create some false information about where he is. So I'm on Kent Island, which is in Chesapeake Bay for Chessie. And I was going to take a picture of Bay Bridge, but I can't see it at all. I thought it was going to be like lit up with lights and everything at night. I thought it was going to be super cool. It looks like there's just nothing there. I meant like the Chesapeake Bay Beach Club, which is like the closest point to the bridge, and there's just darkness. So I guess I'm gonna have to take a picture of maybe the marina here. But yeah, Chessie is a plesiosaur-like dinosaur that's been sighted throughout the entirety of the bay. First spotted in 1936 in the Bush River, which is in the northern area of the bay, and since then it has become a environmental mascot for the bay. But I think it's pretty clever because you can make the argument that, oh, well, do you see any plesiosaurs around here? That's right, because it's so polluted. So that's a little funny thought I thought of. But yeah, I'm going to try and line up a good picture and then head to the final spot for the day, which I think is going to be another 2-hour drive. That was a bit farther than I thought it would be. Another little detail is that Chessie gets her name from obviously Chesapeake Bay, and then shortened to be like Nessie from Loch Ness. There's also a few others like Tessie from Lake Tahoe. Lake Tahoe. And then there's Bessie from, which lake is it? Lake Ontario? I think that's the right one. Which is a bit weird for that name, because that doesn't shorten from Ontario. It could be on Tressie. That doesn't roll off the tongue. But yeah, just gonna head over the bridge now. The final stop for today, which is the Bunny Man Tunnel in Fairfax, Virginia. There it is right in front of me. And the legend goes, a man wearing a bunny suit will come around these areas and attack people with an axe. And it started in 1970 when there were 2 instances, and then the police opened up a report, and then they got like flooded with accounts from witnesses about 50 people. And it looks like you can actually see, because this was a real event, the axe is on display. I didn't see where. I'll add that in later. But I suppose we'll go investigate the tunnel. Oh, my headlights went out. And now you're back on. And the version I heard of a long time ago was that the bunny man actually killed 2 people with his axe. And it spread on from there through like mass hysteria that you can still be attacked by him through this tunnel. So I'll stand here and take my picture real quick. Now let's see what's in this tunnel, because this is a road, so I gotta be careful. There doesn't seem to be any kind of graffiti. It's a little echoey in here. Interesting. I was kind of surprised that with a place of this reputation, there's no graffiti or anything. But yeah, I wonder why this particular spot and why a bunny costume of all things. I guess maybe it's just for the like shock factor. But now I finally get to go to the hotel and get some sleep, because tomorrow seems like it's going to be a busy day because I have to make it all the way to Point Pleasant for the tournament. To cover the camera. And I have some stuff to do in Washington, D.C. And I might poke around Washington, D.C. for a little bit, then probably arrive pretty late in Point Pleasant. But now I have to go find the hotel. So I made it to the hotel and I did a little bit more research on the Bunny Man. And the legend part has him being a murderous psycho who escaped from an asylum, who was committed there after murdering his parents on Easter. And when he escaped, he wore a giant bunny costume, kind of like Michael Myers from Halloween, how he killed his family, and then on every Halloween he kind of dresses up, killing people. But the Bunny Man will disembowel you and hang you from something, and this happens on Halloween supposedly, if you stay under the tunnel exactly at midnight. But the actual legend, or not the actual story, does include a man wearing a bunny costume wielding an axe. And he appeared at this bridge and started shouting and yelling at this couple in a car who tried to drive by. And then he threw his axe through their windshield. And the axe is on some kind of mount. I couldn't find exactly where it was displayed, or if it's like just, someone's like home or a private collection or anything like that. But he was upset about the development spreading into the woods, and there was a second incident where he was he used another axe and he like chopped up the roof of another car. I don't think there was anybody in that one, but then the police searched for him and found nothing. But then there were other reports over the years, and even still to a recent date, about bunny men wielding axes harassing people. But none of the other ones, besides the first 2, have proven to be real. So I guess as a tradition, I'm coming into a new hotel. Do check for bed bugs. Gotta go deeper. Oh, that's as deep as it goes. And got nothing there. there. And then gotta check under the bed for dead bodies. And this actually has a space under it, but there's no one there. Ugh. And then to recap the day, we met some unlikely friends. Met a good boy. Met a crybaby. A possible growing legend. A bad boy. An actual legend. Environmentalist. And a grumpy psycho. And then I originally was gonna go to the Smithsonian in Washington DC for some other stuff. So I'm gonna have to start my morning off with that because the Smithsonian closes at 5:30. They open at 10, so I guess I gotta sleep a little bit. Then I managed to track down the Target blisters and got all 3D promos. So thanks for watching my day 3 of my cryptid road trip. And I'll see you again tomorrow morning. Bye.